The world stood still on April 21, 2025, when the Vatican officially announced the death of Pope Francis, the first Jesuit pope, and the first from Latin America. Pope Francis had spent over a decade trying to reshape the tone of the Catholic Church, focusing on humility, mercy, and outreach to the marginalized. His passing left not only a spiritual void, but a question mark over the Church's next chapter. Just days later, the cardinals gathered in Rome for the secretive and ancient ritual of the Conclave. The Sistine Chapel was sealed, the ballots cast, and after just 2 days of deliberation, white smoke emerged from the chimney. The crowd at St. Peter's Square erupted in anticipation. Then came the words, "Habemus, we have a pope." To the astonishment of many, the man stepping onto the balcony wasn't from Europe or South America, but from Chicago, Illinois. Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost had been elected as the 267th Pope of the Roman Catholic Church, taking the name Pope Leo XIV. In that moment, he became the first American in history to ascend to the papacy. Pope Leo XIV's journey to the top of the Catholic hierarchy is anything but conventional. Born in Chicago in 1955, he joined the Augustinian order and eventually found himself in Peru, where he worked for decades and became a naturalized citizen. His leadership in Latin America shaped his worldview, focused on justice, missionary work, and pastoral care. In 2023, Pope Francis placed him in charge of the Vatican's dicastery for bishops, one of the most powerful positions in the Church. In hindsight, it was a sign that he was being groomed for something greater. The reaction to his election has been electric. Social media exploded with memes, commentary, and even hometown pride. Chicagoans jokingly declared that communion would now be served with deep dish pizza. And former President Donald Trump issued a statement congratulating Pope Leo, calling it a proud moment for both America and the Church. For many, it felt like history was being rewritten in real time. But the excitement has also been met with unease. Critics point to Pope Leo XIV's time as bishop in Chiclayo, Peru, where he allegedly failed to take adequate action on sexual abuse allegations. Some claim that he allowed accused priests to remain active without meaningful restrictions. The Vatican has not directly responded to these claims, but the scrutiny is already mounting. He's also drawn criticism for his conservative stance on some social issues. While he is not seen as an ultra-traditionalist, Pope Leo opposes the ordination of women and has maintained the Church's traditional teachings on LGBTQ matters. His election signals a potential pause in the progressive momentum some had hoped would continue beyond Pope Francis. Now, Pope Leo XIV faces a monumental task. The Catholic Church is grappling with declining attendance, financial instability, and generational disillusionment. Abuse scandals continue to haunt dioceses worldwide, and many Catholics, especially younger ones, are looking for leadership that feels more open, more modern, and more accountable. Yet, in the midst of criticism and celebration, one thing is clear: history has been made. Pope Leo XIV carries not just the legacy of his predecessor, but the expectations of millions around the world. He may be the first American pope, but what kind of pope he becomes is a story still unfolding.